What is going on, my beautiful people? In today's video, as you can see, we are in the great outdoors. And the reason we're doing that is because we're shed hunting today. We're going to do a little bit of maintenance to some roads and everything like that, where some trees have fallen down throughout deer season, and we're just now getting to clearing those so we can make paths. We're going to put out some trail cameras to see what bucks have made it through the season, pull some seats from stands. We're going to do a little bit of everything today. And we're also going to set up some cameras not only for the deer, but for turkeys as well. That's actually what I just got done doing here, was we set up, you know, right here to turkey hunt, right down this dead log. There's a dead tree. Sit right there and watch this whole little area. Turkeys tend to roost up on this hill, work their way down feeding in the mornings, and spend a little bit of time here. Got a trail camera set up right here, watching this little opening. Got it a little low, that way we can make sure to get their beards and maybe even spurs in. So got a couple people out here helping with me. Got Banner, got my wife Candace, and then also got my dad over there. So hopefully we'll find some sheds. Hopefully we'll find some good sign for deer next year. And hopefully we'll end up getting some pictures of some turkeys. Got a couple of cameras to check as well that have been out since early November. So we're gonna see what we can do. And hopefully we'll find some fun stuff as I get straight in some mud. So that's why you gotta wear boots, guys. All right, let's go get some trail cameras. But we have our Moultrie trail camera right here. Let's see if it's still even got batteries. I highly doubt it does. Oh, it does. We're at 21% and we have 3,781 photos. Perfect. So let's go ahead and pull that card. We'll get another one in it. And we're gonna move it right down the road some, actually, because we're already monitoring this place. There was a scrape right here off of this branch. As you can see, the deer stopped hitting it. But I'm sure there's been a good bit of stuff still traveling through here. So we're gonna go ahead, move this camera, and hopefully we'll find some turkeys with it. Speaking of scrapes, it looks like there's still one right here that's not been too long from hit. So hopefully, look, there's another one right there. So hopefully whatever's been hitting those scrapes also walked in front of my trail camera. I guess I should have come through here more recently to see what was there. As I said when I didn't have my mic on, we're starting where the big pin usually hangs out. We got a feeder and a stand right over there. We get him on trail camera, and he always comes from this direction. There was actually a deer running over there just a second ago. We're gonna start heading that way, and hopefully we'll find his sheds. Been hunting that deer for a couple years now. Also, I don't know where Buns has been this year. A couple pictures of Buns, not a whole lot, but maybe we'll find his sheds too, because that would be awesome. Looks like where a deer would have been bedded, up against this tree. It's not warm though, so it's not super fresh. There's another one tree right here. So they're definitely back up in here, cruising on this hill. There's a food plot right over there that's not on our property. So I'm sure they just hang out here and go over there and eat and come up here and check does and everything else. I really need to get a stand up over here. I really hope we find one of their antlers, but we just have a lot of squirrels that we have to fight. So that makes it a little more difficult. That's why we try to get out here early. There's another big trail right down through there. It comes back out this way towards our feeder. Walk down it, see what we can find. That's how I always shed hunt. Just follow trails and look around. What do y'all do for shed hunting? Basically the same thing. That's the only way I've ever been known to do it. Try to find thick stuff that would catch their antlers. That are like a jump, where they have to cross over a creek bed, stuff like that. That looks like a little bitty rub right here. And that one's fresh. It still has all the dangly pieces. That one's really fresh. Well, that's definitely this year's. Still got all the bark fibers and everything. Banner found us another trail that goes right through there. He said I smell stuff. It goes through there too. Loop right back up towards Dad. You see, right here's the property line. So everything back that way technically isn't our property. Everything this side is. So this is where a bunch of those trails kind of met and dumped out right here. I'll come back. I'm going to mark it on Onyx. But I'll come back one day and put a... dang, I'm really dark. I'll come out one day and put a trail camera right here and see what's coming out of this area. Probably this oak tree, that one, you know, there's plenty of that tree right there is probably the one I would do. This oak looking back this way, or looking back towards our property. And I mean, there's an oak tree right there. It's 20, 30 yards set up right here. And I mean, they stand right here, right to them. So make sure you're getting out and scouting, y'all. Now's the time to do it. I just hope we find some sheds, because I will definitely be looking at saddles this year. May get a saddle and be able to do more mobile hunting like this, where I just walk around and find a trail. If it's afternoon hunt, just sit right up here and see what I see. Look, we found a wagon. Old barrel lid, some sort of tarp, and a wagon with two little steel buckets. Somebody was down here moonshining, looks like. There's a creek right over there. I guarantee you that's what they were doing. I really want to see if there's anything under there. Something's fall apart when you touch it. I know. Let me pick a bucket up. Oh yeah. Man, the bucket's rusted out though. I wish the bucket wasn't rusted out. I wish the wagon had the front wheels on it. That's probably, they probably broke it with it being full of moonshine. Look, there's some glass bottles right here too. Yep. Old, what's that, a beer can? Old Budweiser can. Old Budweiser can.
That ain't old because it had a twist top.
Sheet metal. Look, there's the hose right there. They was out here, had a steel set up. That's crazy. I bet you can follow that hose all the way to the creek. Go, get it, boo. You good? Get in the pool. We ended up finding one off of camera. Dad found it when he was away from us. Not a bad little 2-year-old 8-pointer, but that was the only shed we found so far. But we had a good bit of fun, so it's always worth it. Banner, you want this antler? You want it? No. All right, everybody, we have made it back to the house. I just threw in the SD card and noticed that something was a little off. It looks like I put a full SD card into that trail camera whenever I changed it. I guess I grabbed the wrong SD card or something along those lines, because there are no photos from that scrape or that road or anything. I know we had batteries. I know it was on picture mode. Looks like it was one from a feeder. So what we'll do is I'm going to go through this, because I don't remember what these pictures are, and we'll see if there's any decent deer on it. Looks like most of these pictures are from back in October, so hopefully we'll have some good stuff. Alright, so we actually found a decent buck here. This is clearly, you know, 1.5, 2-year-old 8-pointer. I guess he could be 3. It's hard to tell from just the top of his head, but he's definitely young. This could actually be the deer we found the shed for. I don't have the shed with me right now, but this could be the deer we found his shed. Definitely a young deer. Right in bow range, you can see the ladder to the stand right there. Glad this one, or hopefully this one made it through the season. I would think they did if we found it shed. I'm just assuming, because we found a 4-point side that looked very similar. So that's at least one buck. Haven't had very many pictures, and I've made it like 2,000 into these 3,000. So a lot of does, a couple spikes, and then that deer. That's the best deer we've seen so far. And actually we already have some other photos. Could be the same deer, just different picture lighting. Hard to tell with only seeing its antlers. So this deer actually looks like it has decent mass. It's hard to tell from this photo. It looks like a decent deer as far as antlers go, but I want to say that, I don't know, the head of that deer looks old, but the body looks young. Sometimes in pictures, I struggle to tell. And that looks like that's the only photo we have of that deer. He's got to be, yeah, he's young. I really hope that deer made it through the season regardless, because it should be a stud next year. That deer just looks young in that photo, but it's black and white and really hard to tell. At least to me. I'm not too well versed in aging deer. I just judge racks. Let's be honest. So this picture is actually kind of funny. 784 for me when I'm editing. But a lot of people will say that deer don't like motorized deer feeders. Now these deer at our house and on this little area we hunt, I guess they're just built different, because they will stick their head right up in a deer feeder. And I mean, you can see by this picture, even bucks will. And I think this is the one we just saw a picture of. I think this was him just coming a little bit before that other picture. He's got decent mass. He's not outside his ears, I don't think, because his ears are straight behind his head. Neck starting to swell because it is right there around rut for October. But that's a 10-pointer. Nope, 9-pointer. It's close to being a 10. I really hope this deer made it, because it's going to be a stud next year. But it looks like those pictures are actually some of the last ones we have as far as deer go. So I'm glad that I was able to at least show you something. I want to say that last deer was the one that we were hunting for his sheds. We really want to find those. And I'm sure there'll be a couple other days that I go out and look for them as well. But sorry we didn't get to see the scrape footage. Hopefully you still enjoyed looking at those trail cameras. Make sure you're getting out there, have some fun, take your dog with you, take your wife with you, see if she'll just walk around. Luckily, it's still been kind of chilly outside, so there wasn't a whole lot of bugs, which made it a little bit easier to get Candace out there with us. And yeah, all in all, it was a great day. So let's go ahead and we will get into the verse of the week. Let me grab my Bible off of my coffee stand back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the Lord speak for himself today. Real quick, pray with me. I pray that, God, you tell us what you want us to hear today. I'm going to flip to a page and we'll see if I have something highlighted or if there's a verse or anything like that that you want someone to hear or you want me to hear. So I'm going to flip towards the tail end. I wanted to aim for New Testament. That's what I was feeling. So we'll just flip. And the first thing that I flip to looks like we're in Philippians. I have a star next to this verse, and it is highlighted. It's Philippians 4, verse 6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God. And the peace of God will surpass all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So once again, I feel like I read that weird, so I'm just going to read it again. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and mind through Christ. So if there's someone out there like me, you're probably going through some stuff that you don't fully understand. And that is the verse saying, you know, try not to worry about it. Try not to stay focused on it. Get it out of your mind and let the peace of God handle it. Let the peace of God overcome you. And he's going to work it out for you. At least that's what I get from that passage. And it was one that I really needed to hear today. So hopefully someone else really needed to hear it. I love every single one of you. I feel like people aren't told that enough. So I want to make sure you know that. I love every single one of you. Thanks for watching. And always remember, when nature calls or God calls, you better answer. Peace.